Hello friends, this is Bharat reporting for Revsportz. At the end of day 2 of the Ranji Trophy final played between Karnataka and Jammu and Kashmir. On the field, Jammu and Kashmir once again dominated the proceedings as they finished up on 527 for 6. The way they're batting, it even feels as if they might score about 600, and that would be a real massive challenge or a mountain to climb for Karnataka if they get to a score of in excess of 600. So that was about the on-field proceedings, but today we have to also talk about some off-field proceedings. As there was one incident that basically was in poor taste, where someone like Paras Dogra, the captain of Jammu and Kashmir, went and headbutted the substitute Karnataka cricketer Anish. It is this particular incident has gone viral on social media platforms. So it basically happened when Prasidh Krishna was bowling a very good spell. He bowled a few bumpers. He had just got Abdul Samad's wicket, where he forced the batter to H1 to the cordon. And then he basically also forced Vadwan to H1 through the cordon, which went to the boundary hoardings via the third man region. Then he once again did it to someone like Paras Dogra. And again, unfortunately for him, it scurried away to the third man fence. And that is when, at around that time, Karnataka's players were sledging Paras Dogra, and he lost his cool and headbutted Anish, the substitute fielder. And obviously, there's a little bit of bedlam at that point of time with Karnataka's players, rest of the Karnataka's players getting involved as well. The on-field umpires also got involved. There was a little bit of argy-bargy or whatever you want to say. uh, Thankfully, it cooled down a little bit after a few minutes. That is what you felt so, because after another 8, 10 minutes or about 15 minutes, there were few more verbal exchanges between Karnataka's fielders and Parastogra. So that is how it went. And there was one more moment where I think Vadwan was trying to take second run, and Vijay Kumar Vaishak, the Karnataka pace bowler, was not really happy with how he was perhaps turning on the wickets. So there were moments where it seemed as if players from both sides were losing their cool. And coming back to this headbutt incident, there was also short media interaction after the day's play with Paras Dogra, the Jammu and Kashmir captain, former Himachal Pradesh cricketer, where a few of us asked questions, and he basically told unexpected lines that it was in the heat of the moment, that their players also were sledging. These things happen in cricket. Yes, I understand from that perspective that these things happen in cricket because we are all human beings, not just in cricket, in other sports as well. But this sort of incident shouldn't have happened. Headbutting someone is not something that you want to see on field of play. But that is how it ended up, where Anish took the brunt of Paras Dogra's headbutt. Though it has to be said that there had to be some chipping for Paras Dogra to act in that way. Actually, I felt, what can you say, surprised by all that has happened, having followed Paras Dogra's career over 25 years. It seemed as if a very mature guy, rarely ever lost his cool. So for him for him to do this, it was quite surprising, and just so happened. So we have to maybe look forward. So when we look forward to this particular game, obviously Jammu and Kashmir are dominating the proceedings on day two as well. They had a plan, pretty much a plan, basically to ensure that they won't lose wickets in the first session. Maybe there's a little bit of dampness in the wickets after that kind of overnight rain. Although the play started on time and the ball moved around off the seam once again, maybe the Karnataka spaces where the lines were a tad wider. Vijay Kumar Vaishak bowled with, I think, good energy levels. Hit the pad a couple of times, but once I think it was going down leg, the other time it was perhaps hitting too high. Otherwise, they stuck to their plan of bowling outside off on a track that's a little bit on the slower side and staying a bit low. I'm not very sure about those tactics, but you have to give it to someone like Paras Dogra. He was hit on the neck yesterday. He was hit on the helmet a couple of times today. He actually retired hurt yesterday, but continued to bat and scored a defiant 70. At times he looked ugly with that big front foot stride. At times he got an outside edge. At times he got an inside edge. Only against spin, he looked quite comfortable. Uh, but uh, but it was a pretty good innings from him, as it was from Wadwan. Jammu and Kashmir basically are on top now, and they would look to score over 600 runs and put a lot of pressure on Karnataka's batting lineup. So that is it from us. So if you like this video, also keep subscribing to our digital channel, Revsportz, because we don't just cover cricket, we cover other sports as well. Thank you again.